First of all, Justin Lalonde, VP of Marketing at Fantasy Feud. How are you, sir?
Great to be here. Excited to talk some football.
Great, good man. So, firstly, Justin, if you wouldn't mind giving us a little bit of background about Fantasy Feud, I gather that you've been around a good few years.
Yeah, we're probably one of the three longest standing companies still in the DFS space. We started for the baseball season in 2012, and things have been changing lately. You might have noticed, anyone who's familiar with Fantasy Feud, our prize pools have gone up drastically in the last few
Yeah, they're
months.
huge right now. It's great.
Yeah, step in the right direction. I know that our audience is really excited about it, but it really happened through we've been become part of Gaming Nation, so we have a nice influx of capital now that we can put towards prize pools, and finally for the NFL season, large focus on bringing some new members to the site.
Good man, that's what I like to hear. So you had one of the biggest guaranteed tournaments ever seen in DFS very recently. Is this kind of big guarantee, big field event? Is that the future for Fantasy Feud, or is that a rarity? What's gonna happen?
Well, no, we always like to have one larger event that's going to last throughout the season. So I believe the one you're talking about right now is our $500,000
It
baseball
sure
championship.
is. It sure
It
is.
it's actually taking place right now. We had round one was last night, and it's a two-part final. So the final is tonight. Somebody's going to be making $150,000 for first place, and yeah, we've announced we've got $1 million championship for NFL. We took it to seven figures, and the winner of our feud of champions is going to get $250,000. So it's going to be an exciting time this year on the site.
Amazing. Love it. Who do you have in your team in Fantasy Feud? What's the backstory? Who are the main men in charge there?
We're a little bit from different walks of life.
Sure.
So there's myself and another Justin. So Justin Schulman is one of the founders of Fantasy Feud. He's our president. Myself, I work in the marketing capacity, also in operations. When you're a smaller firm, you know how it is. You put many hats on.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and we've got a few developers on staff internally that are working for us and doing all the great things at Fantasy Feud. And our team, we've also got a few other people in the office that work through the community management that are working on some of our different creative, making the site look as great as it can. And we've got another member of our team who's the master behind all of the GPPs on the site. So he's making sure everybody's happy and has plenty of money to win on the site.
Brilliant. I love it. And another thing that really seems to stand out about Fantasy Feud right now is you're not just sticking with the established NFL, MLB, etc. Lacrosse making an appearance on Fantasy Feud.
It did. So we actually had a partnership with the National Lacrosse League, which we're hoping to extend into this season. It was a different sport, a little bit more of a niche offering than what we're used to seeing through daily.
Sure.
I know a lot of the other sites are thinking, okay, the next progressive step is going to be to jump into Premiership soccer and so
Yeah.
forth. But we had an opportunity with the National Lacrosse League, and it's a great way to branch out to offer something additional to our audience. And to be honest, I was quite surprised by the amount of our regular daily players who also wanted to dip their toe in the lacrosse pool. But in addition to the sports, a lot of the fun things that our members like here are the different game types.
Yep.
We do a lot of stuff outside of the traditional salary cap.
All right, give us some details, Justin. What are you doing differently there? Makes Fantasy Feud unique.
Well, there's three of my favorites. One everybody's familiar with, the snake drafts. So typically, if you're used to the traditional format of playing fantasy, you're used to playing in the snake draft, so you can jump on. Typically, something that has a little more game options come NFL season than during MLB, but we have the snake feature that's available. But my two favorites are the two following. One is going to be our survivor contest. So we've taken the survivor concept of you pick one team each week. Everybody's used to that, they understand that, but we've switched it around to make it based on players and not teams. So what you're going to do is you'll pick a quarterback, a running back, and a wide receiver each week. There is no salaries. There's nothing you have to worry about, except there's one thing you have to keep in mind throughout the entire season. You can't pick the same player twice, And we have a cut line. So the lowest accumulated points each week, those contestants will be eliminated. And the whole goal of the contest is to survive to week 17. However, if you're playing in one of those contests, you've got to save yourself a few studs because the payouts in week 17 are weighted towards where you finish in the week 17 contest. So it's a lot of fun. There's continuity throughout the year. A lot of guys like that overarching full season adventure. So we have it through that. It's a little bit of an easier game to play. You don't have to worry about the salaries. It's more of a matchup based contest. Another one that we offer, it's basically our hybrid. I call it where traditional fantasy meets daily fantasy. It's our season leagues. So up to date, we've only offered this in NFL. They're back on the site again. Basically, you're entering in a contest against the same people each week. So it's a season-long contest, weeks 1 to 17. First place and second place will be paid out in those contests at the end of the year. However, to keep everyone invested, to keep them interested week after week, we have a weekly prize each week. So you are coming to face the same people in the same contest every week. However, you're drafting a new team every step of the way. So especially if you're a guy who's never dipped their toe into daily fantasy, it can be a little intimidating jumping into it. How does the salary cap work? The structure of it? How should I be spending my dollars? Well, here you get to enter one league at one price point. You get 17 weeks to learn how to play and 18 chances to win prizes.
That's fantastic. Oh man, you gotta love that. And I must admit, I particularly like the sound of the unique Survivor event. Man, that is gonna be some bubble going on round about week 16 when people are people are gonna be sweating that so hard. I love it.
Yeah, you got to save yourself a few options because you never know who's going to have those playoff matchups locked up and the starting and sitting. So while a lot of people think, okay, it's a dumbed down version of the game. It's something that's easier. I don't have to put as much research into it. There is that aspect of it, but at the same time, it's really important to focus on who do I need in weeks 15, 16, and 17 to reach the end, and also to make sure that I'm cashing in at the highest level in week 17.
Absolutely. I would imagine the people that think that it is a sort of a dumbed down version are going to be the ones who then just top load the first few weeks with the studs, and then they've got nowhere to turn when the big money kicks in.
Oh yeah, you'll have some Adrian Peterson, Julio Jones, Andrew Luck week 1 teams where those are probably guys you should save to week 17, 16. But it's like playing in the Survivor where you're picking a team, right? You know you're going to go through, if you're making it to the end, 17 quarterbacks, 17 running backs, 17 wide receivers. Take a look at the schedule, plan out your season, and get your competitive edge in there.
Brilliant. Okay, so finally, Justin, like it's clearly just a really exciting time to be involved in DFS roundabout now. What's the future hold for Fantasy Feud? World domination? Where are you gonna go?
I don't know if I'm gonna claim world domination. If you turn on the TV, you're seeing a lot of ads that aren't actually coming from Fantasy Feud. So really our approach to the market and what we're trying to do is we're trying to provide a fun community of players that you can play against. We're trying to really make that community as interactive as possible, having things like the season leagues, the Survivor contest, being a little more of a diverse site where people can come and throw their hat in the ring in a multitude of different contests. There's no doubt behind it. Salary cap is still what dominates the daily fantasy industry. It's still the majority of what we do, but we have a little bit of a different flavor so that you can get your fill of the salary cap games while trying some different contests. But our goal is to establish ourselves as the clear-cut number 3 in the industry and to keep moving towards that goal and hopefully continue to build an audience that enjoys what we're doing at Fantasy Feud and to continue to give the customers more of what they're looking for.
Fantastic. Justin Lalonde, VP of Marketing at Fantasy Feud, was an absolute pleasure chatting with you. I'm really excited to see what the new NFL season has in store and to see how the new formats that you guys are introducing are going to meet with the public. And I've got a funny feeling that they're going to be pretty popular.
Yeah, and if you haven't played on the site yet, make sure that you sign up through some of the links on the daily fantasy lobby, and you'll get a 100% deposit bonus all the way up to $500.
Brilliant. Everyone's a winner. Thank you so much, Justin. A pleasure chatting with you.